So RFK Jr. is back talking about Tylenol and talking about autism. And if you thought it was bad the first go around, folks, it always gets worse anytime this dude opens his mouth. Because he's saying that while they really don't have any proof that Tylenol causes autism, they will make the proof. They will keep doing the studies till they make the proof. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, Brando, that's outlandish even for RFK Jr., but here he is saying just that.
That show the countries that use the most at the highest level of autism. Cuba has the lowest level in the world of acetaminophen use, and it has the lowest autism rate in the world. So this is not dispositive. It is not proof. We're doing the studies to make the proof.
He said, we're doing the studies to make the proof. And he gives this example of Cuba, and he says they don't use Tylenol, and they have low autism rates. Now, I know that's not proof, but we're doing these studies in order to make the proof. And folks, that is Donald Trump's MO and everyone in his administration. If what they say does not fit, and if it can't be backed up by science, if it can't be backed up by the truth or by facts or by real evidence, they just sit there and bend it to make it the truth. But how many times have I said here on the channel that RFK Jr. just sounds like your drunk uncle on Thanksgiving dinner? I say that all the time. Here he is talking about TikTok videos, saying that he saw a TikTok video of some girl gobbling up Tylenol and that she had Trump derangement syndrome. This truly is your drunk uncle. Take a look.
So I'll say one other thing about Tylenol, only because of this. This morning before I came in here, somebody showed me a TikTok video of a pregnant woman, 8 months pregnant. She is an associate professor at the Columbia Medical School, and she is saying F Trump and gobbling Tylenol with her baby in her placenta. And the level of Trump derangement syndrome has now left the political landscapes, and it is now in the realm of pathology. And a mother could overwhelm millions of years of maternal instinct to put her baby at risk, and only by her exactly.
Folks, that should just be your drunk uncles at Thanksgiving that you ignore and go set by someone else. We've all got those family members that's going to be coming up. Thanksgiving will be here. You're going to get there. You're going to see that uncle over there talking that kind of BS, and you're going to go over and try to sit next to your cousin who you've not seen in a long time and stay as far away from that insanity as you possibly can. That's what that's like. But someone showed him a TikTok video. This is the guy in charge of our health, folks. Someone just showed him a TikTok video, and that person has Trump derangement syndrome. And what the hell is he talking about with her baby in her placenta? I mean, I can't even believe this is real life. And he did go on to say that there are studies that he found where that children that are circumcised early are skeptic or are possibly getting autism. Folks, it's absolutely insane that we're here and that people ever takes a word that this guy says seriously. But you know who's not taking him seriously? People who have actually dedicated their lives to medicine, dedicated their lives to science. Those people are coming out and saying, hey, you know what? This is not right, and this is a danger to our health. So I'm going to be reading you this article here. I believe this one comes from The Hill. And again, I want to thank y'all so much for supporting what it is that I do. If you haven't already, be sure and hit that subscribe button as we cruise toward 1 million subscribers. I appreciate y'all very much. But former Surgeons General, RFK Jr.'s action is endangering the health of the nation. So, 6 former Surgeons General criticized Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. in a Tuesday op-ed in the Washington Post. The actions of HHS Secretary RFK Jr. are endangering the health of the nation, the group said. Never before have we issued a joint public warning like this. But the profound, immediate, and unprecedented threat that Kennedy's policies and positions pose to the nation cannot be ignored. The former Surgeons General behind the op-ed were Vivek Murthy, Jerome Adams, Richard Carmona, David Satcher, Jocelyn Elders, and Antonia Novella. Murthy, Elders, and Satcher were appointed by Democratic presidents, while Adams, Carmona, and Novella were appointed by Republican presidents. In their op-ed, the former Surgeon General said that under Kennedy, the foundations of our nation's public health system has been undermined. They specifically criticized the HHS Secretary's long-standing claims that childhood vaccines are linked to autism, his handling of the measles outbreaks throughout the country, his recommendation against pregnant women taking Tylenol, and his upheaval of the CDC vaccine advisory panel. In June, Kennedy removed all 17 members from the CDC Advisory Committee, saying that it was necessary to restore trust in vaccines. Kennedy has since replaced those panel members with individuals who have expressed skepticism about the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccine. The ACIP's recommendation must be approved by the CDC director before being implemented. In August, Kennedy removed former director Susan Menarez from the post just weeks on the job. Menarez said she refused to pre-approve the committee's decisions. On Monday, the CDC accepted the ACIP's recommendation that individuals receive the COVID-19 vaccine after consulting with a health provider. Later that day, the CDC Director Jim O'Neill called on vaccine manufacturers to split up the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine into 3 separate shots, taking the same stance as Donald Trump. These policies, overseen by Kennedy, have misled the public and compromised the health of Americans, the former Surgeon General wrote. Rather than combating the rapid spread of health misinformation with facts and clarity, Kennedy is amplifying it. The consequences aren't abstract. They are measured in the lives lost. Disease outbreaks and an erosion of public trust will take years to rebuild. And folks, that's truly the most disturbing part about all of this to me, is the fact that this guy has been given this position of power. He's been in there long enough now to do so much damage to the trust that people has in medicine and in science that it's going to take us years to ever get back to any voice of reason on this one. And that's why that going into this election, I said there is so much at stake, because I knew it just wouldn't stop with Donald Trump. You know, we talk about the fact that he surrounded himself with loyalists, and he absolutely did. He completely surrounded himself by people who would only be loyal to him, and he did that on purpose. But these people who are loyal to him, they also have their agendas. And their agendas is to go out there and push as much misinformation as they can into the world to sow that distrust. Because the truth of the matter is, folks, I don't think any of us really enjoys going to doctors. None of us are big fans of it. I mean, I've never really met anyone that said, oh boy, I can't wait to go. People do have a distrust. They've always had a distrust. But RFK Jr. and his conspiracy theories that he digs up on the internet, or some TikTok video that someone shows him before he takes a microphone, is not evidence. It's not proof of anything. And I say to people all the time, do not listen to me for medical advice, because I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not even going to tell you what to do. If you come to me and say, hey, what would be your advice on what I should do with my health in this situation? I would say, you know what? I'm not an expert. And I'm not going to, and here's something too. I'm going to tell you to go talk to a doctor. I'm going to tell you if you don't like their opinion, get a second opinion. I'm never going to read you some conspiracy theory that I heard online. I'm never going to play you a TikTok video and say, see there, that's what you need to do. But this guy's in charge. And people who have, by the way, RFK Jr. doesn't have any medical experience. He's not a scientist. He's none of those things. Okay, this guy has no experience in any of the things that he's now in control of. And he's firing everyone that is experienced and surrounding himself by people who will point to these studies who he even admits, hey, they're actually not proof, but we're going to make the proof. We're going to make it true. These are the same people that coined the phrase alternative facts. Well, there's no such thing as an alternative fact. 2 + 2 = 4. There's no alternative to that. And if you want to go out here making something true, 2 + 2 will always equal 4. No matter how many studies RFK Jr. does, it'll never be 76. It won't be. But we live in a world crazy enough to allow RFK Jr. to say 2 + 2 = 76. And well, he made it true, man. No, he doesn't have that power to make it true. But he is in a position of power that is over all of our health. And we should all be very concerned when you have experts ringing the alarm saying, hey, this guy don't need to be here. Hey, this guy is a threat to our public health. I would take their advice. I would take their advice over RFK Jr. He is not, the dude ain't right. He just really isn't. And out of everybody that's in Trump's cabinet, I mean, they're all dangerous and they're all unhinged, but he's in charge of our health. And he needs to be as far away as he can. Let him sit on a bar stool somewhere in a dark corner of some smoky bar somewhere, and let him just sit there and spew that stuff to whoever's dumb enough to sit there and buy him a beer and listen. But that should never be on the main stage, and we can never normalize that type of insanity. And to tell you the truth, I even feel bad playing his clips on the channel because I don't even want to contribute to his spreading of it. I don't want someone to be watching my video and go, really? You think that's true? So just know I show you this stuff to show you that he's crazy enough to say it, not because I agree with it, and you shouldn't either. You should never take your advice from this madman.